Ayo squad, what's the drill? Back with another video, man. You know, when hip-hop first came on the scene, nobody would have thought that it would be the billion-dollar force that it is today. Since its inception, each decade that comes along brings a new shift to the culture. In the late 90s, hip-hop became infused with the internet as free downloader became a phenomenon that would flip the music industry on its head. It definitely has done some irreversible harm. However, nothing has been more of a pivotal gift and curse to the genre of hip-hop than YouTube. Early on, YouTube was a place for creatives to have fun and just let their art run free. But once the late 2000s hit the scene, the game changed for the video platform. Vloggers became king and content became even more plentiful as checks were being cashed. For hip-hop, there weren't too many big figures on YouTube until the 2010s, and by 2014, there was one guy that was quickly speeding in front of the pack, and that's no other than DJ Akademiks, a Jamaican immigrant with a knack for street drama, gossip, and unorthodox journalism. Akademiks has made an unmistakable mark on the hip-hop journalism scene. He has served as a blueprint for many hip-hop vloggers to this day. His stature only seems to be getting bigger. But with great power comes great arrogance when you haven't ever really been a recipient of respect prior to acquiring the power. With little regard for the culture, DJ Akademiks has made a mockery of hip-hop and its pioneers, all the while influencing the youth and keeping the algorithm fed with nonsensical beefs with some of the biggest names in rap. But the scary thing is that he shows no signs of stopping his BS. As long as people keep watching, he will keep streaming. The only thing is that after some recent events, his name and reputation has been put into question. So today, we are going to go through the career of Mr. Akademiks and get to the bottom of how he quite possibly became the most hated man in hip-hop. So let's get to it. Just who is he exactly, and what's up with his story? Well, he was born Livingston Allen, also known as DJ Akademiks, and he's a Jamaican-American entertainment blogger, DJ, TV host, and YouTuber who has made his bones primarily posting satirical news from the hip-hop industry. He's had TV shows such as Everyday Struggle with Complex, and has even moderated an episode of the television documentary series Complex Conversations. He founded the entertainment news website Late Night Creep and launched his YouTube channel, Late Night Creep Vids, in October 2012 to supplement his blog. Since then, he's launched several YouTube channels, including the gaming channel King Akademiks and a channel dedicated to Chicago violence called The War in Chirac. He has approximately 3 million subscribers across all channels and another 1.9 million on Instagram. DJ Akademiks, who had turned to hip-hop music to cope with the cultural shock of moving from Jamaica to the United States, began blogging on rap forums while still in high school. After enrolling to Rutgers University, he took things a step further by dabbling into music production, but that venture didn't go so well and he moved on. Around this time, he started working as a DJ for his college radio station on Saturday nights, which helped him gain confidence. As a result of his success, he was invited to be the DJ for local barbecue parties and events, the photos and videos of which are frequently shared on his social media profiles. This gave him internet exposure, which helped him get offers. He continued to DJ for radio and parties for the next 2 years before launching his own website, Late Night Creep. It only took him less than a year to transform that website into a full-fledged hip-hop blog with massive traffic. As the popularity of the website grew, he became more daring in the topics he covered, posting his personal opinion and discussing high-profile beef. In October 2012, he launched the YouTube channel Late Night Creep Vids to post satirical news videos on entertainment with a focus on hip-hop. He soon began posting interviews with celebrities in the entertainment news, such as Miss Drama and Charlemagne the God. His popularity really started to skyrocket with the development of his War in Chirac channel. It is with that channel that DJ Akademiks became a representative for the culture by riding his core fan base of cultural outsiders. Truth is, his platform became a reflection of how suburban teenagers and corporations perceive black culture. The channel featured nothing but the worst of street and gang culture out of Chicago. During the early stages of his career, War in Chirac was his most consistent channel. Eventually, it got to the point that since he wasn't from there, it's not surprising that some locals were offended by his decision to document the gritty, often heartbreaking happenings of their streets. Vic Mensa, coincidentally, a non-drill artist from Chicago, turned out to be that person. Vic confronted Ak in 2017 during his appearance on Everyday Struggle and stated that he believed AK glorified the situation in his city. He even got beside himself and actually even threatened Ak live on air.
I wanted to slap you in your face, honestly.
The channel has been defunct for 5 years, but it's still up, and even though it is no longer active, the damage is done. Dozens of rappers he covered have passed on, and many of them have been stained with the reputation and mocking nicknames that Akademiks gave them himself. Being that they wouldn't have really gotten any publicity otherwise, those things remain as a large part of their legacy even in the afterlife, unfortunately. You would think that after the War in Chirac era, the Akademiks would keep it humble and cool, but nope. In fact, he increased his pettiness, and nobody faced the wrath of his shenanigans more than women. In 2022, Meg Thee Stallion was his most prominent female target. When the drama between her and Tory Lanez unfolded, the hip-hop community was forced to take sides. Indeed, Ak was no exception, and for the most part, he made it clear that he believed Tory's alleged firearm incident was coordinated to derail Tory's career.
Meg wrote a whole 17-page thing, and my name was in there about every other page. Oh, this is how Tory's harassing me, and he's working with Akademiks, and Akademiks posted this. Meg, we're not in court against each other. We got the exclusive. And by the way, if y'all thought y'all mentioned me, by the way, to the DA don't know who I am. Tory's lawyer don't know who I am. So if the DA's mentioning me, who you think is hitting her up like, yo, Akademiks did this, who you think is doing that? It's Meg, bro.
Bro will go on a full rampage towards Meg with an onslaught of videos aimed at her and her case with Tory. Though he is still currently engaged in online warfare with Miss Tina Snow herself, Meg is far from the only prominent female MC that has had beef with Ak. Years before he was even a household name, Ak expressed his feelings about Nicki Minaj and Meek Mill's breakup. His alleged comments were inflammatory in the eyes of the Young Money artist, and she immediately began asking around for his location.
He's having a breakdown. I thought he was trying to come up here to have a conversation. So I'm like, I'm bracing for whatever. She like, you in New York this week? I'm like, of course I'm in New York. But then it went severely left. She said, you've been mad since I made a joke about you with Joe on my show. The people you rep won't stop your jaw from being broke.
As any longtime fan is aware, Nicki isn't afraid to air her grievances with journalists, and as Ak's profile grew, she refused to let bygones be bygones. Things have since subsided, but not before Ak did the almighty clout chase exploitation move and made a song dissing Nicki under his alias Lil Ak.
Don't be playing like you know me. Tell Nicki she can find me on her IG, cause she know that we can
straight trash, but hey, it got attention, which is always his goal, so I guess it was well played. One of the more recent polarizing beefs that Akademiks has had is with a top-tier MC who was also a top-tier troll. If you're going to criticize an artist's celebrity on a public forum like the internet, don't be surprised if they go out of their way to respond. That's exactly what happened in the case of Akademiks attempting to downplay Gary Indiana's golden child, Freddie Gibbs. Although it appears that these two have been going through it since birth, the feud between Gibbs and Ak began when he intervened in Gangsta Gibbs' ongoing feud with Jeezy.
You think you sell a little 28,000, 29,000, 30,000 you lit? Let's do it, bruh. I'm a blogger. If you don't embarrass me, make sure you shut your mouth, because you just be happy to be in it. I've been doing everyday show this morning. They're like, oh my God, what y'all mean he's not relevant? How the is this irrelevant? He's relevant to y'all?
Almost immediately, Akademiks' comments were viewed as short-sighted by hip-hop fans in general as they downplayed Gibbs' importance in the genre today. Freddie quickly came back to let Ak know that he got his attention and it's on and popping. Although there was plenty of verbal sparring.
My son wanna whoop Akademiks, nigga. He too. He like, ABC, we working on how to say Akademiks.
His casual remark, "You built like a Teletubby," evoked a positive response online. Since then, the two have been at odds, and whenever their rival suffers public humiliation, whether it's being suspended from Twitch or getting into a fight with Jim Jones and Benny the Butcher, the other party is always waiting to capitalize on the downfall of the other. Luckily though, nothing has turned violent and cooler heads have seemed to prevail for the time being. In this year of 2022, Ak has graduated from throwing shade at the underground legends to throwing shade on hip-hop pioneers. In September, he made some strong remarks regarding the pioneers of hip-hop. While he did not criticize artists by name, he still attacked with some harsh words during an hours-long Twitch stream. During the stream, he criticized the financial well-being of hip-hop pioneers, the rappers more specifically.
I'm trying to tell you, them old rappers, man, bro, have you seen any of these old rappers who be like, yo, they're the foundation of hip-hop really living good? Them be looking really dusty.
The comments sparked outrage in the hip-hop community and spawned countless responses from hip-hop legends like LL Cool J.
So just because a couple of these guys and girls and people out here made songs and made music and made contributions to this culture, or even dancers danced and made these contributions go. Just because they didn't get rich, just because they weren't able to pile up millions or billions of dollars, does not mean that they didn't make a contribution to this culture.
Russell Simmons, and many, many more. These remarks are still fresh on the minds of hip-hop lovers and are definitely one of the worst blemishes he's added to his career. Over the past 8 years, Akademiks has put in a lot of work and even made himself a pioneer and legend in his own right. I mean, to be honest, 90% of the urban YouTubers got their game from him. That can't be denied. He showed people how to get money on this thing called YouTube. However, at a certain point, the money and clout went to his head and turned him into a monster. He never hesitates to use his power for evil, and it could be argued that he uses his influence on the younger generation like a weapon that can have lasting effects on generations to come. His lack of care, awareness, and respect for the culture that he works in continuously rears its ugly head in various ways, too many to count. That is why, regardless of his impact and trailblazing, a lot of people will view him as the most hated man in hip-hop. Will that ever change? We shall see. Until next time, peace.